everybody, Martyn Flicking Feathers again today. I'm tying an anti-static buzzer. Anti-static mids, there's loads of different versions of these available. Very effective. Probably more popular in North America than they are in Britain and Europe, but they are very effective. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page. If anybody wants to support the channel, get access to the members only content, as well as being entered into the giveaways. Or you could just subscribe, hit the bell button below, that's also very appreciated. So I've got a size 10 Camazan B175 in the vise. Tie them different sizes obviously to suit. You could probably go 8s to 16s or something. And I've started some Uni 8/0 in black. I'll just run a wee bed thorax length there, and I'm tying in a bunch of white marabou. And I'm just going to leave it long at the moment. And then I'll get my rib material, which is just a small red wire. I'm going to tie this in on my side. I'm going to leave the tag end the length of the thorax. And I'm going to wind down, keep the thread tight, touching turns all the way down. I'm going to go slightly round the bend. You can stop at the barb if you like, that's up to yourself. Now, the body is anti-static bag. Right, you get these bags for computer components. You just cut strips at them. I mean, they're cheap. You know, you buy a packet of bags for a couple of pounds and it will last you all the buzzers you'll ever need. Now, I've cut this strip about slightly, it's maybe slightly too thick actually, it's thicker than a large tinsel, but I've cut it at an angle, down to a point, right? You need to do that with this, it's quite a stiff material, it'll no tie in like a modern, like mylar tinsel, without giving you a big ugly bump. So, I've cut that in and I'm taking my thread forward. Just moisten that marabou to get it out of my way. Park my thread at the front here and then I'm going to wind the anti-static wrap and I'm going to overlap my turns, which helps, it puts a wee taper in the fly, in the abdomen, and it also kind of gives you this, it intensifies the shiny effect of the plastic, and it makes a really nice imitation of the way like the gas builds up in a buzzer. I don't know how well that shows up there on the camera, but as I move it you can sort of see the shine. It's not just as in your face as a silver tinsel or something would be, which I think is really good. So take the rib, I've taken it, take a full turn at the back, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to slightly widen my turns in the way forward, so they're closer together here and then they're getting a bit wider. When I get to the front, I'll take like a full turn, I'll come up, I'll bend the wire over the thread and lock it in. And I've taken about 6 or 7 turns up there. Some folk will tell you should always use 7 because that gives you the right number of segments for a buzzer, but the fish don't know, the fish don't count, it doesn't matter. If you use 5 or 6 it doesn't have any detrimental effect on the fish catching ability of the fly. Just keep that wet to keep it controlled. wing buds, I'm using this. It's the original Larva Lace Angel hair, and this is fluorescent orange. It's a solid, it's a solid colour. It's not pearly, and it's very intense. So I'm going to fold it over my thread. So I've got a long end and a short end. Take it up and tie back. And I like to pull it straight down when I do this. And then let it go just as you get to the tying point, and you'll see that it will more or less separate for you. I'll just check that it's definitely on the bottom. A wee bit of moisture, I'll just control everything. And then I'll take my flashback material. I'm using a large Mirage tinsel. You can use pearly, you could use red holographic, would be nice, up to yourself. Just going to catch this in. I'm going to tie it back about half of the length of the thorax. Yeah, I'm not going all the way back. I'm going to come in, tie this off, fold it back. Now, you might need to come in front of your marabou just to support it a wee bit. I notice my thread wraps are sliding down there, so it's just because the marabou's able to be crushed down. Once you've locked that in, you can take away the excess, and then we're ready for the wing buds. Now, what I like to do, oops, there's one gone to the wrong side, is I'll pull them up on top so they're kind of tight. Make sure you can just sweep them so the ends are where you want them, and then now that I've got them tight, I'll sort of push back so that they're loose. Right, and I don't know how well you can see, but there's like a wee sort of, a bit wider than the thorax there. Right, that's how I like it. And I'm going to tighten them up, and then I'm going to fold them, put a wee crease, just pressed in and back, and I'll put a wee crease in them to give you the wing bud. I mean, you don't need to do that, you could pull them straight up and the fish wouldn't care. I'll fold them back just for a bit of security. It's quite a slippy material, and it's also tangled up in my marabou. There's one strand there. There we go. And also it can be quite hard to trim it really close, so in order to have a nice clean finished head, fold them back. Now that's enough for another fly, so set it down. But this is just waste. And that way it's nice and clean. There's no any orange showing. Now I just bumped my thread there, but I can easily fix this because it's folded and trapped. Take another couple of wraps just in there, and I'm going to whip finish in the wee band between thorax covering the breather. Suppose it's the head of the midge. I'll come in, trim that away. Now, I wet my breathers. There's a fibre or something there that I don't know what it is. Just take it out. And then I'm going to varnish. Start at the back. Make sure you get that well covered, but a light coat. I don't want a lot on here, and I'm just brushing towards the front. And then the thorax can take a lot more varnish than the abdomen because, well, there's a lot more thread to absorb it, and plus it'll help sort of build up that shape. There we go. Now, it can get another coat or two even. Maybe I usually give them like 2 coats on the abdomen and maybe a 3rd coat on the thorax if it needs it. And normally I'd wait until it was all dry, but I'll just show you. Just trim the breather, and I use my scissors. Just trim it about the eye length. Right, I'll set this one aside to dry. And I'll grab one that's already done. Up there. So this is already had a few coats, and you can see the thorax, even though I put the heavy varnish on, the thorax is shrunk and it's given me that nice shape. And I trimmed the breather, even though it's marabou that I cut with the scissor, it's quite a realistic breather impression. You can just tap it there to open it up. So there you go, that's the anti-static buzzer. Hope that was useful, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to the channel. Till then guys, bye.